Good morning. Today is Thursday, April 11th, 2024. The time now is 4:06. Praise God I woke up. Praise God I got some sleep. But I am not going to lie. I need way more sleep. So I'm going to rely on God and caffeine to get me through the day. Anyway, other than that, I am good. I am going to go to work. I've got a really long day ahead of me. Probably a 15, 16 hour day. So God and caffeine is definitely going to be needed. I'm going to tread lightly on this subject because it's something near and dear to my heart, but it's about my son. We had a conversation last night, a real conversation, and he's worried about his future. He's afraid of the economy. He's afraid of what's going on in the world. And, one of the things I tried to tell him was, you can't be afraid of what's going on in the world. You have to be aware of what's going on. But let me tell you something, when you have faith, it makes everything less scary. And I asked him, I said, do you pray? And he said, no. And I said, pray. I said, pray big prayers. They say to ask God for anything and everything. And pray and don't stop. Because sometimes that's all you can do. I can honestly say I have faith. And faith gives me hope. And faith makes me less afraid of what's going on in the world. Because I know what God has done in my life. And I told my son, I said, a lot of people may not really realize what the Lord has really done in my life. I do. I don't ever forget. So this is this is the reason why I'm vocal in my faith. And I tell you about Jesus Christ. Because I was on my knees crying out. There was no other answer. Okay. This morning, speaking of the future, I've picked out this scripture. It's Mark 13, 1 through 10. So here we go. Jesus speaks about the future. As Jesus was leaving the temple that day, one of his disciples says, "Teacher, look at these magnificent buildings. Look at the impressive stones in the walls." Jesus replied, "Yes, look at these great buildings. They will be completely destroyed. Not one stone will be left on top of another." Later, Jesus sat on the Mount of Olives across the valley from the temple. Peter, James, John, and Andrew came to him privately and asked him, "Tell us, what will happen? What sign will show us that these things are to be fulfilled?" Jesus said, "Don't let anyone mislead you, for many will come in my name claiming I am the Messiah. They will deceive many, and you will hear of wars, threats of wars, but don't panic. These things must take place, but the end won't follow immediately. Nation will go to war against nation, the kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes in many parts of the world, as well as famines, but this is the first of birth pains, with more to come. When these things begin to happen, watch out. You will be handed over to the local councils and beaten in the synagogue. You will stand trial before the governors and the kings because you are my followers. But this will be your opportunity to tell them about me. For the good news first must be preached to all nations." Tell somebody about Jesus today. Tell somebody about God. Because somebody needs to know. If you want to choose to not believe, that is your God-given right. But let me tell you something. I believe. This is why I want to tell you about Jesus. Have a good day.